PingSunday has the special permission of Coach Chen Kangning. Please don't upload the video without the permission of Coach Chen and PingSunday.
In this last part, I'll discuss serving with everyone. If you can't see clearly from there, feel free to come to the other side. First, I'll explain the hook serve to everyone. I believe your serves should come from the same position, but utilize different spins. I think this is actually quite challenging, so what can we do? We can use this racket. I can draw a line on this racket. What do you mean? Does it look like a dial? It's round, and the axis is round. This is also round, right? If I take the right hand as an example, if I approach from the 10 o'clock direction, I can easily find the outer edge of the ball. It's a side spin, right? Then if I approach from the 12 o'clock direction, have you noticed that my stance is a bit too upright to receive the ball? Okay, I made contact with the racket at 12 o'clock. Is it easier for me to hit the outer side of the ball? Everyone take a look, alright? What kind of spin has this become? Side spin, right? This part is a bit complex. I just spoke with Coach Zhang. I mentioned that this is a bit complicated. You might not be able to grasp it. It's about side spin, both upper and lower. Alright, if I want to serve with a high arc, I let the ball come in from the 1 o'clock position. This is coming in from the 12 o'clock position. And why did we used to call the hook serve a wrong knife serve? It's actually just a slight error towards the side. Look at what spin it becomes. It turns into a hidden hook, right? Why does it turn into a hidden hook? Find the upper back part of the ball a bit. It's a hook spin. There's a difference compared to regular side spin, but some players can't find the feel at this position. They may find it easier to learn regular side spin. It's easier for them to learn. So what if they can't learn it? We have alternatives. What a substitute means is relatively simple. You see, when I pull back the racket, isn't it still to this point? This is a standard serve, right? This is a regular hook shot, but I want to understand it better. I can let it drop during the ball's descent. I let my hand drop down instantly. The requirement here is that you first relax your backswing. When your hand drops down with the ball, isn't the hand just slightly lower than the ball? Alright, slightly lower is very simple. Anyone can do this, right? Anyone can spin the ball, right? Then I'll add the previous movements to build a foundation. Isn't this a long arc? It's pushing upwards, right? So do I need to start the stroke from the front? Just like with other spins, right? You can't just say, I want to serve with an arc. Everyone knows what you want to do, right? So you took the opportunity to drop it. But this type can only produce a long, particularly fast ball. Producing a small hidden loop is quite simple. Can you all execute a short high toss? You can, right? Exactly. You can also add in some action. Then make a feint, right? Some people feel that the shot is correct. I can also add a little bit of variation. A slight angle, right? Still lifted it a bit. It's a slight angle tilt for a moment. I think this is better than what I just mentioned, targeting the 1 o'clock direction. I think it's pretty easy to understand, right? Then tilt down to the side and add more spin. This is to make your opponent think. Your preparation is the same, right? Just like with the side spin. The backspin is meant to give the opponent a moment, a bit of deceptive action to confuse the opponent. This way of generating force is correct. This is the second type where you need to add a lift. For example, using ordinary sides, both long and short with a lift. You must focus primarily on this type of ball. It's not that there's no spin, it's just a bit awkward. Let the ball drop to its lowest point and then push it out. Isn't this ball very floaty? That's because the spin isn't very stable. Others can only achieve this strong topspin after receiving the ball. This type of shot creates a huge contrast, doesn't it? With the contrast, your control over the opponent will be greater. So this serve is a backhand long serve. This is the farthest point on the table to control your opponent using these two areas. The long serve applies pressure while a short serve sets up a positional attack. This is your main tactic for the hook serve, but don't overlook the importance of the backhand small triangle. This is quite tricky, isn't it? This place is inevitable, but it's precisely because you always hold it back to this end. Send the backhand cross again. Sometimes this place actually. This place looks like a good hiding spot, but once you are restrained. Have you noticed that this short one is significantly different from the left-hand spin? The left spin is a long jump off the platform. This actually jumps out and then steadily follows up. If you practice it until you're proficient, you can make this ball always sticking to the edge. Just came in or just fell down. The opponent receives the serve, right? So this point is actually a bit tricky. But you need to practice it well for it to be tricky for them. If you can't serve well, the serve goes wrong. Others can just attack you without hesitation, right? So in practicing serves at this point, if you want to use this point for control, you need to put in the effort, right? It's not just talk on paper. I understand what Coach Chen said. Can you actually serve that? What about serving 9-9? If you can't even serve 0-0, what kind of skill is that? Now, what about a left side spin? I think some people struggle with serving. That young girl couldn't find the right feeling at first. This is a left side spin serve. You tend to feel like the table is in front of you. So you unconsciously follow the ball forward with your head. Once you unconsciously move forward with you are essentially pushing it away. So a left side spin serve should definitely come towards yourself. If it's a short ball, you might hit it slightly higher. I often say to strike the ball in front of your chest. Then, you can generate spin by placing it towards your chest. It's not about moving forward with the ball. When you spin forward, you definitely have to bring it towards yourself. Then you just need to secure the ball, right? Now, when I want to serve a long ball, I try to keep it low. Why does it become a problem if it's too high? So after keeping it low, I aim towards my stomach, instead of pushing it forward. There's only one type of ball that requires pushing it forward. The best. He actually makes a side spin serve motion. What he's executing is a push shot. He's not applying side spin. It just seems like he's applying side spin. The way he strikes makes it look like he's using side spin. In fact, at this moment, he's not pulling. This is how he generates power. So this type of shot is not focused on spin. What he's concentrating on is making it uncomfortable. It's not a standard side spin. It looks like he's pushing the ball to the side. Actually, he isn't slicing it. He's half pushing and half pushing it out. This serve is the same. He's not slicing it, right? Even though it's fast, the spin is very straight. When facing a higher level opponent, he should be able to handle the power well. But I can use this technique. This is a variation because the spin is very straight. The ball feels a bit floaty and heavy. He claims it's backspin, but it's not that pronounced. If you treat him like a regular player without spin, you'll end up in the net, and it will feel awkward. You really need to practice earnestly. It's not about serving with your eyes closed, looking around and thinking your serve is good. When practicing serves, your hand should be relaxed and fluid, so if you don't feel a bit of pressure, there's no sense of competition in training. I think it's better to take a break and rest than to train without purpose. If we're going to practice, we need to pursue efficiency. I often say that the same amount of time must be matched with efficiency, which specialized player trains for less than 1,000 hours a day. Some might even add extra hours. Some get so into it that they add 3 extra hours in a day, and I think that's fine. But it's not just about the time, it's about the efficiency. Of course, if I have the same level of efficiency, then I also have to consider the time. But what I'm talking about isn't just about not eating or drinking. If you don't find a balance between work and rest, you won't recover well. Under the same high efficiency conditions, I tried to practice within a scientific time frame. But if I practice too much without seeing results, it's like I didn't practice at all. The more I practice, the more scattered my focus becomes.
Read more about table tennis on my blog, PingSunday.com. Get free ebook and coaching advices. See you in the next video.